What's up, you pencil neck geeks? Welcome to the world-famous Comedy Store. This is the Store Horsemen podcast. This is your boy, the Darkitect, speaking. To my left, Huge Malaka.
Hello.
The enforcer, Johnny Scortis. What's up, dude?
I'm good. How are you? I just got another promotion at work.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I can't get fired from this place. It's fucking like Office Space.
And you should have been, in all fairness, you make a lot of videos, and I never know when you're actually working at the tile place.
Well, apparently I'm making an impression on the higher-ups by doing that bullshit. So.
Right on. They're like, never mind.
All right, well, that's good.
To
Let's
his
keep
left,
these intros
the Golden
moving.
Pony, Tony
Hello,
Hinchcliffe, ladies and
everybody.
gentlemen.
How's it going there? It's good to be here. I got a promotion, too. Self-employed. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Boss status. I like that. To his left, the jabroni Josh Martin, sporting a very expensive T-shirt.
Yes. Miss Elizabeth shirt, guys. Thank you, Wrestling for Sale, for getting me the shirt.
Big Ted.
And 10 days away, Storecade.
That's
10
right.
days.
November
Josh is the
23rd.
only guy who buys more T-shirts than he sells.
Yeah.
No, I'm still,
Yes.
I'm still in the positive shirt selling compared to what I bought.
Still in the green. I like
Wonderful. And, I mean, I'll just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Not Johnny.
Johnny?
Not Johnny.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're going to welcome back the evil genius Eddie Firth. What's up, man?
This is the greatest return to a wrestling talk show this week.
Yeah.
You guys are welcome for my presence on this show.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Well,
He's got a
biggest
little-
news in the business this week. You tell me something bigger than me returning to the Store Horsemen.
I don't know anything.
Hey, Phil, give me a call. I'll show you how to do it next time.
Whoa.
Don't stumble over your lines.
My
Whoa.
goodness. My
Jeez.
goodness.
Find your light, asshole.
This is the most... Yeah, seriously. He did walk right into the darkness.
Well, listen, I extended the olive branch last week, and I'm glad that you sort of accepted it, and you're here now, and, look, it shouldn't have got heated between you and I. I give the full mea culpa for that, and, my job is to keep the thing going, and I got out of line, and, I'm sorry.
I appreciate you using a term like mea culpa. As a Jew, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's how we would express it.
Absolutely.
I think there were a lot of things said that may take me a little while to process. You certainly had a strong opinion, and then you continued to make sure that anybody who was listening to you on the internet followed with that strong opinion. Fuck you to everybody in my DMs. You're all assholes. I don't give a shit about you. You can tweet me all you want. Go ahead. You're the one tweeting me.
I'm sorry for the
So,
tweets. I'm sorry. It's me.
Thanks, Josh. This was obviously something that we all talked about separately and a few times together. I don't think it went the way any of us wanted to. And after all the discussions all of us had, I definitely, thank you, Tony and Johnny, for reaching out and talking to me the way that you guys did.
I mean, I'm on your side in all this.
Look, it's because
No,
it's
I'm
not
kidding.
about sides.
I'm
to
just,
take.
I'm
One
just
of us
kidding.
was right,
I'm kidding.
but
I'm kidding.
I don't want to start
about
off on that foot.
It's about the Store Horsemen, and of course, we love you, evil genius. So,
And-
you know what I mean. We all have different opinions, and that's what makes the show so mediocre.
I was certainly willing to come in and, again, being Jewish, I would rather do this on air where it's content than hide this in some room where, like, I'm ready to take responsibility for everything I
We
say.
know you
so-
Jews know how to hide things in some room.
Yeah, well done.
So, you get credit for the attempt. No,
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to come down and see how this would be and sit in the same room and do this again. And, I'd say thank you for having me, but what other choice? Like, well, of course you would have me. Why wouldn't you? So thank you.
Well,
A little Barry Horowitz fucking shit going on
a
there.
little something.
Horowitz is another
Johnny, I didn't know
Jewish man.
you were that flexible. That's well
Me?
done. Yeah.
I
good
used to
shoulder
be able to do the
mobility.
splits.
Wow. Banana splits.
But let's see how this goes. I don't want assumptions being made. I'm tired of all this other stuff. I think we need to get some of the garbage out of the way. But this idea that this is some sort of this is a special event. Okay, I came in because I was asked by some friends to at least sit down and talk and do what we had done before, and I'm willing to see how this goes. So I appreciate the effort that was put into this.
All right. Well, yeah, let's absolutely see how it goes. Speaking of seeing how it goes, dear God Almighty, Chick Magnet Punk is back, sort of, with the WWE. Did you guys see this video? Did you see the announcement?
Yes.
Well, I got to know what everybody thinks about this.
Super weird way in.
Yes.
Super awkward. From every moment of it, he was able to. They were able to make it weird.
Yeah.
I guess they wanted to surprise the people, and his music hits, and he comes out and he soaks in applause and looks around at an audience that isn't there.
Correct.
It's literally like a man who's only pro wrestled before. He doesn't do anything else, and he's never been on a professional soundstage in his life. It's like he had no idea what was going on. He was absorbing in the music and soaking it in, walks out into the 2-roped ring, and goes straight towards the camera like it's his opponent in the darkness. So
I don't have a problem with darkness, but it seemed like Fox tried to do a wrestling thing, and they don't get how wrestling reveals happen. And so it was kind of like it was clear Paige had no idea what was going on. It was clear Samoa Joe had no idea what was going on.
See, I think it's worse than that. I disagree there. I think Paige did know what was going on, and she's trying to make it look like she didn't know what was going on by saying, "Is this what did she say?
Is this a work? Is this a work? This is a rib."
Yeah, she said it 3 times. It's just like, so what would you actually say if that music started and you're standing there? I'm not buying it. I think they would have had a better and more genuine reaction if it was genuinely a surprise. But I think they're trying to pro wrestler us into thinking that was a surprise.
See, I got that from Renee. Renee's reaction was so bizarre, and she kind of laughed like she was putting on that she knew or something. I don't know. Johnny, what did you think? Did you see it?
As far as what you said about Renee, I think, and we'll probably talk about this later, she's probably still in shock.
Yeah.
From what the fuck her husband was doing the other day.
Sure.
So
she live tweeted during that match.
Oh my god, that was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
But
are you excited to see Chick Magnet?
I'm not that big of a fan of his. So,
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you heard me, motherfuckers.
Josh?
Cool, I guess. Who gives a fuck about him as a commentator, though? If it leads to him being back in the ring, then I give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
If he's just gonna be that, I don't care as much. But what it does say is that it does hurt that he's not going to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I definitely have thoughts about it, but Eddie, you had a reaction to what Josh just said.
This look, first, there's so many implications to this. The idea of whether we'll get to the discussion that's way too far in advance of whether he'd actually get in a ring or not. But Josh, the idea this is, you're telling me that CM Punk can't talk?
I'm just saying.
You're telling me that you're like, if he doesn't get in the ring, we're talking about one of the greatest talkers in the last 10 years.
Yes,
is
but
come
I don't
around and
care
talk.
about him talking
That's fair. If you
about
don't
the
care,
product.
that's fair.
But I do say I would appreciate him coming back more if he showed up in that soundstage with pyro. If there was pyro in the soundstage, I would have lost my shit.
At least I can respect when you have an opinion that's different and don't need to try to back that up with facts. But that being said, CM Punk returning is very interesting to me. There's a lot of positive and negative about how it came about. It's certainly, if you bring him back in an arena in any fashion, is going to be different. If he does come back to wrestling at some point, which I think it's still so premature to talk about, then this return somewhat takes away from it, but also intrigues us more. Look, I don't think that show never really intrigued me to begin with. The fact that he's on it is somewhat interesting. I don't know if I'll go out of my way to watch it, but I'll definitely watch the clips. And I think this is just the idea that after everything he's been through with the company is now working for them or for Fox for them, however this deal really does work out. It's big news. Again, I will say I agree with Josh. It hurts AEW more than it helps WWE directly. Like I don't. At best, what's he going to do? Double the ratings from 50,000 viewers to 100,000 viewers on this show?
That's the key. Like you said that your interest in the show wasn't there to begin with, that's exactly, it seems like, how everybody else.
What show is it? What's he on?
WWE Backstage.
It's just
What's
like
that
It's
on?
a show on Fox
Fox
Sports
Sports
1.
It's
One.
a
It's like a
FS1
studio-
show, yeah.
That's all that he's doing?
It's like the
Yeah.
NFL shows where they stand around and they analyze,
Yeah.
which is, and there's something also to be said when I saw him standing in there with Booker T and an injured Samoa Joe. There was a moment where I was kind of like, does this diminish CM Punk's value to have him? Like, does he now just appear like a legend, like Booker T, versus bring him? But yeah, I will agree, Tony. That was a really weird entrance he made, but exciting to
so
see him.
weird.
It's so exciting to see him, man. I don't think there's a wholly negative thing that can come from this. Only interest. It's CM Punk. Thank God he's around and we can enjoy him.
What I am hoping is that they use this show to do like promos, have wrestlers come on and actually do promos, kind of like what AEW uses their YouTube page with Being the Elite
Yeah.
to
The
kind of
Tuesday
cut
Night
promos
Titans.
stuff.
I don't think they will, because I think the point is that it's like a real sports show. It's, you know what I mean? It's like the UFC Tonight thing that they used to do, and I don't know. Did the fighters do promos on that show?
One of the things that I
No.
like about it, I'm sorry, is if you're a casual fan and know who CM Punk is and you're flipping through channels and you see him,
Yeah.
it's like when I was a kid and the Macho Man wasn't wrestling, but he was doing commentary,
Yeah.
and I would just stop and start watching because the Macho Man was on TV.
Sure. I mean, apparently it fell horribly flat in its debut, ratings wise. And then they brought in Ryan Satin from Pro Wrestling Sheet to come in as kind of like the dirt sheet guy to give like scoops about what's happening.
Is that where you get your sources from?
No. And so they just needed to do something, because before that, what the dirt sheets were reporting, and even CM Punk himself had said, is that he had heard nothing from Fox after his initial audition, even though things had apparently gone well.
He had to audition for that?
Yeah, of course. He doesn't work. What? Why wouldn't he?
It sounds like Fox just brought him in because they wanted to screen test. That's not terrible. Like,
Yeah.
right, put him in front of a camera, see that he can talk.
But it's like
Which he
hilarious.
He just
can.
walks right up to it out of the lights. And this guy-
They're like, that looks great.
unbelievable screen test.
Can you do that on a Tuesday night?
So
Phil?
unorthodox.
But it's like a hilarious scenario already, because like the fans, it's like there's a school of thought like, oh yeah, okay, it's inevitable to when he returns to wrestling. Isn't it great that he's back? Blah blah blah. Then there's the other side of it that are screaming, "Sell out! You sold out to Vince, and you went back to the company that scorned you." And
Yeah.
blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
blah.
those people are going to have great lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn down a deal talking in a microphone on Fox. Yeah, you fucking buffoons. You sold out, you idiots. Where are your parents right now? Go find your fucking parents.
From what I heard, the deal is genuinely with Fox and not with WWE, even though, of course, it's still with. You're
Right,
still working with. But
He's
that's
not going to wrestle in a ring. I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. CM Punk's not going to wrestle in a ring for WWE.
Already, like the other superstars, Seth Rollins fucking tweeted at him.
fucking Seth.
Yeah, Seth Rollins tweeted, "Fight me." So did Virgil, though. And
Bray Wyatt tweeted
Bray Wyatt
some pictures.
tweeted pictures of their interactions when he was in the Wyatt family, saying, "I saw you." So look, who knows? It's one of those things for me where I think definitely right now he doesn't want to wrestle, because best case scenario as a wrestler, he should have gone AEW. Like, that would have completely done way more for them than anything that he could do for WWE as a wrestler right now. But it's like, so if that's not the goal, I can totally see why he made this move. But you know how these fucking guys are. Time passes,
And you just
you
if
warm
you-
up to it.
Yeah, especially if you're around wrestling
Yeah.
and fellow wrestlers
Yeah.
that you knew back in the day, every single day, you kind of like get
It's just
the
gonna
itch,
take
you know?
one cool storyline idea. I mean, they got Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was the one guy I thought that was like, nah, he ain't gonna wrestle again. That ain't gonna happen. They pitched him AJ Styles. They pitched him all these fucking great matches, and he ends up returning bald headed in a tag match in fucking Saudi Arabia.
Greatest
Just be-
Royal Rumble.
Be careful with the bald-headed remarks first and foremost.
I'm sorry.
I think. Look, I'm one of those. I actually had a conversation with somebody. I'm interested in what you guys think about this one. My inclination would be that he returns to one of the Saudi shows. I think I don't know if he's going to return. I think it's early to even discuss it. I think he's probably not interested right now, but he may be. If he is, my money would still be on him and Stone Cold in Saudi Arabia because you could pay them a payday that neither one could turn down. There's still that feeling like the shows don't wholly matter because it's not WrestleMania. It's not going to go down in WrestleMania lore.
Do we know what their Saudi Arabia deal is exactly?
They got 8 more years at 2 shows a year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that might be breaking up soon.
So this is my question to you guys that I was debating with somebody today. Royce Isaacs, actually.
Who will be
Did
at
Shawn-
Storecade November 23rd.
Did Shawn Michaels' return at Saudi Arabia tarnish his legacy to you guys? Because I'm a firm believer that, no. Like Jordan came back to the Wizards, and I don't not think of him as the greatest basketball player. Obviously, that match with Shawn was not great, but I don't think it tarnishes a legacy. And in fact, I'm more excited that like he got over $3 million for a single day's work for somebody who physically put his body through hell, and now his family can eat a little better, a little longer, and leave a little bit more in his legacy to them. And in no way do I look at that damages his legacy. Of course, we weren't going to get the Heartbreak Kid, but we got to see him one more time with his friends in a match that clearly nobody was really prepped for. Whatever, but it's the spectacle, it's the attraction to it. How do you guys feel about the idea of his legacy being tarnished?
The great thing about that match is he saw the match with one eye, and then he saw something completely different with his other eye.
They should have gotten one of those hijabs to like just.
If he wore what Tyson Fury, whatever that, look, respectfully, whatever that headdress
Lordy.
is.
Lordy.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't think his legacy was tarnished at all. Because interestingly enough,
It sounds like you kind of did.
no. What everyone said from that match, from what I remember, was everyone sucked, but Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? Like obviously he wasn't. He's lost a step or two, but it was people were pleasantly surprised by how in shape he still was. You know what I mean? He obviously he looked like shit because we're used to seeing him a different way, but whatever.
yeah.
So I don't think it tarnishes the legacy at all. He still gets the big ass pops when he shows up as
So if you get
Proud Papa in NXT and stuff.
I just want to say, because Stone Cold was brought up for a second, that November 23rd, here at the Comedy Store, Storecade for the first time ever. And just want to say, Stone Cold could possibly be here. He could possibly be here at Storecade.
Could possibly.
He lives in the Los Angeles area. There's a chance his car could break down on Sunset Boulevard,
That's right.
and he needs to use a landline phone or something like that. It could possibly happen. Will he be in the area where the ring is? Most likely not. He'd probably go to the lobby.
yeah.
But he might peek his head in if he hears the sound of people hitting a mat. Like he might be like, what in the hell's going on in here?
I read in the dirt sheets that the only place other than Saudi Arabia that he wants to wrestle is at the Comedy Store.
There's a lot of people saying that.
That's what I read in the dirt sheets.
That's what I heard.
I've been on the phone this week with people like Raven, people like Val Venus.
Yep.
Them telling me how they're not going to be able to make it to Storecade
But
next
also
Saturday.
trying to sell you some pills too in the
I mean,
meantime.
no,
I'm kidding.
Come on, not at all. They're both clean and sober. Well, I don't know about clean, but you know what I mean. But those guys are great. Anyway, but it's going to be a blast. There's a lot going on, a lot of special surprises going on. So
Absolutely.
stay in the loop.
But can you imagine that, like Royal Rumble 2021, the last entry being CM Punk?
You mean 2020?
No, 2021.
A full year.
A full year where you
Interesting.
this CM Punk will never wrestle.
Yeah.
And then that's when you put him in.
Yeah.
It's a huge pop.
I just think it's in his fucking blood, and he can still go. It's not like he retired for injury or for any other reason other than disputes. So it's like once you get around it and you start getting the itch again, this shit will happen. And he's been showing up in masks, doing little shit on indie promotion. Like, why wouldn't he fucking wrestle again?
Would you think of the idea of him being on this show?
I mean, I think he'll be a great addition. It was weird that they announced afterwards that he's going to make periodic appearances, that he's not even a permanent fixture on the show. So then it's kind of like, well, what's the fucking point? You know what I mean?
Who knows how long that show even lasts?
Right. You know what I mean? That could go the way of Bring It to the Table, which was like, 5-something episodes, and then it was gone.
And what sucks about the show is that this is basically just a redo of the show that was on SmackDown.
Yeah.
That was great.
Talking Smack. Yeah.
Talking Smack,
Was
which was
great.
a great show. And this show we don't give a fuck about
That's right.
compared to Talking Smack, and Talking Smack was great.
I say bring back primetime wrestling. Where's the
Yeah.
brain
That's
and
great.
fucking Vince McMahon having
That's a
Earthquake bring out burgers?
That's
and
a
shit.
great idea. Another idea is, like you were saying, what did they do on the UFC? Not promos and all that, but what would be great is if they looked at matches coming up and looked at the technical side of things about how they would match up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy could easily get this guy in a small package for a quick win if he's not very alert. And this is the type of guy that we know he let his guard down against Rusev. We saw him get rolled up against this. Like little technical things would really help that business.
And that's what-
exactly what a show like that should be used for. And here you go. This is another. I know someone's listening.
Yeah.
All right. I see what you guys are doing. All right. So there you go. There's another fucking $1 million idea for you buffoons in the WWE.
And that's what JR does really well with AEW with his announcing is he kind of brings up stuff like that, talks about moves that that a wrestler previously has done,
Yeah.
and what the work move is actually hurting.
It
the
makes
arm and
things
stuff.
interesting. That's what Rogan does on the UFC. He's letting he's catching the viewer up with what they need to know about these martial arts. It's art.
Yeah.
And so is pro wrestling, and it could be so much more interesting if they looked at people's technical. Oh, this guy's a high flyer. He can do this. This guy kicks out at 2 a lot. Hard to keep him down. Very durable. It's going to take a lot of offense from this guy to beat this guy. This guy comes back in every match. We'll see.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then it also makes it so that you can evolve storylines, that
Yes.
everything isn't the same thing.
Right.
Oh, this guy comes back a lot. Okay, he didn't come back. That's the shocking thing.
And
Instead of every match being the same.
And it gives just smart stuff for the announcers during the matches to actually say to bring back up.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just fucking the king saying something stupid like he
Yeah.
always does.
Well, yeah. I mean, we definitely believe in pro wrestling as an art form, but a lot of people feel like what AEW presented on Saturday for their pay-per-view was not that. They had their pay-per-view Full Gear on Saturday, and it was like at some points watching like the very worst of an ECW old pay-per-view. Did any of you guys see this Omega Moxley fucking?
I only heard about
Yep.
things. I saw the clip of MJF and Jericho, but I didn't see any. Or MJF and Cody. I didn't see anything else.
Certainly. It was.
Looks like my friend has something to say.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Chairman. How are you?
Oh, another beautiful day. Did you see CM Punk is on the FS1?
I did see that.
Yes, got him. He's back. You gotta watch that show now for sure, everybody.
Perhaps.
Hey Vince, how do you explain the fact that CM Punk said he'd never work for you again, and somehow he's working for you again?
Ha! 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 That's the sound of me laughing.
I like your style, Vince.
The funny thing is he thinks he's not working for me. He thinks he's working for Fox. Well, I got bad news for you, CM Punk. You idiot. All I have to do is give them some money to hire you to get the dumb 30-year-olds to watch that show every week. The people that know CM Punk will watch. It's all me funneling them money. Oh, you keep this $500,000 and I'll take that $500,000 and you give him $500,000. That's what he's making. $500,000.
Well, what are your thoughts on the competition usually being praised for its artful presentation of pro wrestling and going full blood and guts basically over the weekend?
Oh, AEW.
That's right.
AEW.
Yes.
That must stand for anything else, wimps. It ain't as easy as you thought it'd be, huh? What's the guy's name that owns it again?
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan. Blah, 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 blah. I want to get into the wrestling business. Oh, good job. I have better pay-per-views like that in Saudi Arabia. You idiots.
You're not wrong, Vince.
Oh, I know. You know what, Eddie? I like you.
Thank you, Vince.
I'd like to offer you a position.
I'll take it.
Okay.
The
well,
gorilla position.
Yeah, there you go. Doggy style. Anyway, so
Trish got fired.
what?
I said Trish got fired from the doggy style.
Don't
position.
bring her name up.
Oh,
Anyway, I have her in the backyard right now barking like a dog. So yeah, back to you guys. I want to listen to this AEW part. I love this. This is a great comedy part of the podcast.
I love it. But yeah, so I mean,
I'm shocked you didn't love this.
Overall, it's the same fucking thing. It's like the main event stuff is usually anything Cody does is pretty great, but even in that match, he took a dive over the top rope, went head first into the goddamn ramp, and busted his face wide open. Apparently, the match was gonna actually be stopped at one point by the ref, but they were able to go ahead and finish it. He's not cleared to wrestle this week. Omega's not cleared to wrestle this week. Barbed wire bat was brought into the situation.
that's crazy.
Omega brought a broom with his cleaner gimmick covered in barbed wire as his weapon, and they were scraping the shit out of each other. They took suplexes into beds of barbed wire, mouse traps, the whole fucking nine. And it seemed like every time the match was going to end, an extra 10 minutes happened. And that happened like a good 3 different times.
What I kind of like about the Cody Jericho match
Yeah.
is that they had 3 judges.
Yeah.
So if the match reached the hour time limit, the judges decide who won. I don't know how they would.
I like the Jericho one.
I don't know how they would figure out who won, how they would do that.
Well, they said it wasn't a point system. And the 3 judges, right, it was Arn Anderson,
Dean Malenko, and the Great Muta.
And Great Muta, yeah. Keiji Muto.
Which was great to fucking see the 3 of them.
And then Jericho, being the fucking legend that he is, of course, gets in Dean Malenko's face,
The best.
calling back to their fucking time back in
That's
WWE.
amazing.
You know what I mean?
Armbar.
Yeah. And then and Jim Ross being like, oh, these two got a fucking storied history.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do want to bring up some of the hypocrisy, though. Like we're saying that one of the best parts of this brand new show featuring brand new people
Yeah.
is an old wrestler talking shit to an older wrestler who's a judge.
Yeah.
The same way as wrapping a broom in barbed wire would have been as absurd as Dean Ambrose and Jericho fighting over a plant.
Yeah.
Let's just not forget that sometimes these overly zealous internet wrestling, super smart wrestling fans love this shit, but it is the same thing. Like we would bash WWE for this same kind of stuff.
I'm 100% agree with you.
It's a very odd double standard that gets applied so often, and there's no necessarily right or wrong. Just we need to point that out. Like a broom wrapped in barbed wire works in the concept, but like that's silly. The same as Jericho and Malenko being one of the featured spots in this other thing that's supposed to be happening. So,
I think it says a lot about the culture and like everyone just jumping on board and yelling, screaming about what's fucking great instead of actually having a mind of their own.
But
it's the same people who tell you how badly you need to watch every episode of Rick and Morty immediately, or else you're an idiot. You know?
I went to Popeye's Chicken. I had that chicken sandwich. It's bullshit.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
It's fucking delicious.
Okay,
Hey,
first of
Johnny,
all, both of you guys are white.
Did you not get the spicy?
I got the spicy
First and
sandwich
foremost,
from
Johnny, I'm
Popeyes.
going to say you can have any opinion about any chicken sandwich you want, and I appreciate that.
Were you
okay?
not hungry?
Now
Were you-
these
did
I
you
bought
eat right
these
before you
hyenas
went there?
can attack.
Do you have reasons for why you didn't like the
I
sandwich?
bought 4 sandwiches thinking.
Where are
like,
your
I'm gonna-
facts? How many grams of fat were in it? How much sodium?
It was 690
All right.
calories.
How many other chicken sandwiches have you eaten before? Do you have statistics to
Okay,
back that up?
Okay.
Okay,
Don't okay
Eddie,
me.
relax.
Don't okay me. Don't okay me.
Relax.
We get
Don't
it.
okay
What's
me.
going on over there?
Don't okay me.
You are.
Don't okay
We have a
me.
new version of this evil genius this week.
Really
The
evil.
real version.
Look
Somebody
at
get this guy a
this.
chicken
The real
sandwich.
version. It's
Oh,
just
when
don't okay me. You might as well
have
shush
it.
me next
Oh
time.
my god!
What were you saying, Johnny?
Here we go
No,
again.
no, there
So
will be
hold on,
no
hold on,
going.
hold on.
Chicken sandwich. How are these
There will be
chicken
no
sandwiches?
going.
Just a quick segue.
Do you not
I
like
bought-
chicken sandwiches?
I love chicken sandwiches. I bought
Alright.
4 of them with the anticipation
4.
of I'm gonna eat one. I'm gonna eat one on the way home because it's probably so good. I
Yeah.
did that and I was like, this is bullshit. And I had 3 more.
You're like Ric Flair, who had a cooler of beer on his way to the bar.
But I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be really good.
Yeah.
I ate it on the way home. It wasn't that good. And then my initial thought was I'm gonna eat one. It's going to be so good. I'm going to have another one.
Yeah.
And then when my girlfriend comes home, I'm going to have two and be like, oh, I got these chicken sandwiches for us.
Oh, I got this half of a chicken
Johnny,
sandwich.
So your goal was to eat 3 chicken sandwiches.
3.5. Be honest.
So what did happen? Were they so bad you had to eat all 4 to spare her
No,
from eating
no,
one
no,
of them?
no. She came home and ate it. She's like, so whatever. And then I took the other 2 to work, and I gave them to a friend of mine from work. I was like, oh, I hear you talking about these fucking chicken sandwiches. Take them. They're
Now,
bullshit.
how
You
did
gave him a day-old chicken sandwich? What's wrong with you, Johnny?
Johnny? The real question
I
is
work
how
in a
did
warehouse.
how'd the chicken sandwich do as IC champion? Was it did the chicken sandwich draw as IC champion?
No.
Oh my
The
God.
chicken sandwich did not.
That's
draw-
what he had as,
That was like throwing the Intercontinental belt on
Val
Venus.
Val Venus.
There you go.
Billy
So
Gunn.
that's what the chicken's
Come on,
like?
guys. These are our friends.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty much Full Gear. We finally had the MJF turn on Cody Rhodes out, because that's how that match ended with him and Jericho. He was in the Lion Tamer. MJF was his corner man, so he threw in the towel. Jericho wins. MJF apologizing profusely to Cody. He just couldn't bear to see his best friend helpless like that, bleeding in that move. And then he kicked Cody in the fucking balls and went full heel, as we've been waiting for MJF to do
Beautiful.
since AEW started, basically.
Beautiful. Well, here we go. And speaking of going full heel, guys, I actually have to run.
Yeah,
I'm excited for next week's show, the Go Home show, right?
that's right.
Here, live, and you guys behave yourselves. No fighting while I'm gone. Be nice to one another.
You don't
What
have
about
to.
me?
Yeah, don't have to. You don't have to do shit like that, man.
All right.
I'll be fine.
Look at you. You're a little
I'll be fine.
spunky one.
I know how to handle myself.
I've always been a
Spicy.
big supporter of you.
I know.
I like evil
I'm
geniuses.
here because of you.
All right.
I'm here because of you.
So check it out. Storecade, you don't want to miss it. A lot of crazy stuff happening.
For sure.
That's the last plug. They're going to tell you more about it later. The other things, the deets, as the kids say, as the AEW fans say, the deets.
The deets. That's what they say.
I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys next week.
Later, Pony.
Buy your if you're in Southern California, buy your fucking tickets. Don't be a buffoon.
But we got a special guest coming in to step in for Tony, yeah?
Yes.
You want to go get him?
Sure.
Oh, right
Oh,
here.
he's
Wonderful. Wonderful.
gonna eclipse the camera.
There
My
Couple
fat
times.
ass, couple revolutions around.
he is.
Hey.
There he is. What's up? Come on in, man. What's up? The great Eddie Torres is here.
The host of the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
How's it going, fellas?
Hanging in there, man.
Hanging
How are
out,
you?
Hanging out. Drinking
Come on
beer.
in. Get the headphones on. Nice Pentagon shirt you got on there.
Cero miedo.
Yeah, that guy, he's going to be here November 23rd for a little event we're doing called Storecade.
How'd you get him?
I mean, I don't know. I don't speak Spanish.
I like
If
that you guys
don't
had
know what. Oh,
a second bald-headed bearded Eddie just in case this didn't work out.
I'm the Darkitect. I always have a plan.
Hey, question: did we get the Lucha Brothers because Matt Edgar's Mexican?
No, we told him that they could chop the shit out of Johnny, and
Yeah.
Pentagon couldn't sign on fast enough.
oh my god.
So is
Hi.
that, you're doing the chops or the chops or
I'll do it. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
You
All
you
right.
really want this?
Do I really want it?
chops for charity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it for the charity.
Okay. All right.
What charity?
To make Popeye's
Popeye's
fried
chicken
chicken. That's the charity to get.
Delivering mediocre chicken sandwiches to homeless people all over LA.
Oh man.
Well-
but welcome to the Store Horsemen, Eddie.
Thank you for having me, man. I love
Yeah.
this show.
Oh, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Just be careful what you say. Anyway.
No, speak freely. Everything's gonna be okay. You've been you're abreast of everything. Did you watch Full Gear?
I did.
What'd you think of the show overall?
It was all right. I mean, the Moxley.
Did you think it went too
Omega-
far?
I don't think it went too far. I did cringe a few times.
Yeah.
The glass.
Yes,
the
that was
glass made me
crazy.
Cringe. But I mean, I was an ECW mark back in the day, so
Mhm.
I kind of appreciated it. I think Jericho looked purple.
We commented on that watching Dynamite before this. It's just like if he just drank, I don't know, like right now he drinks like when Johnny is at the Royal Rumble with us. If he just drank
not
like
good.
Johnny does on a Wednesday, a regular Wednesday, then we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's funny. The stream I was watching, there was a bunch of people commenting like, "Oh man, he just eats fast food and drinks all the time." Like, yeah, but I want to see any of you idiots do a lion salt.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
We were just
he looks
watching
awful,
Dynamite,
but-
and he hit a lion salt on Scorpio Sky. He put his knees up. Scorpio Sky blocked it, but when he went for it, I was like, "Wow!" Like he's still getting over just as easily. It's
And maybe
amazing for
it's
him.
just to make it hurt more.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
put on some pounds so that when you moonsault on somebody, it keeps them down for the 1, 2,
That's what
3.
that
I think
Molson Ice
that was
does.
his excuse on his podcast. He was like, "I'm trying to go for this Bruiser Brody bigger
Yeah.
size."
Fuck
person."
that.
Yeah, okay, sure.
You're drinking whole bottles of champagne after each fucking title defense.
Bruiser Bloaty.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
But yeah, man, AEW.
My issue with that main event was seeing was Renee Young's tweets.
Yeah.
Got me like
uh-huh.
it was like just cringe worthy, like to be able to watch your husband do all that and
Totally.
have all that happen to him.
But has she not watched all his CZW matches?
I'm sure she
Do you
has,
thi-
but
do you think she
still,
went back and watched DVD? She started tape trading after the match. I should check up on what he did before he got here. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I think her deep studying went back to like the early days of the Shield. I don't think she went to CZW. I think she's
chainsaw
like, oh
to
yeah.
the face. No, yeah. she went-
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because it's like, okay, yeah, you say the WWE was like holding you back from doing this. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, man. If this is what you mean, I guess, but I don't know. I think that AEW is just. I guess it hasn't existed long enough to really render an opinion, but it's just okay. It's good. It's good. It's not great. It's not amazing. And WWE keeps beating them in what I keep saying is they really know how to flex their advantage. They can get Tyson Fury. They got CM Punk back. They can get Cain Velasquez, even if they're just gonna fucking bury him. You know what I mean? To Brock Lesnar, like, it doesn't matter. We can do that. You guys cannot do that. And they're sort of daring AEW to do something big to compete with what WWE's can do. Like NXT's basically closed the gap on Dynamite.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the gap is around 9,000 viewers, and for TV, that's nothing.
Right.
Yeah, that's
That's like-
negligible.
Yeah, it started off like, okay, we got a million and a few, and NXT's doing like 700,000. Now they're both around like 800,000, kind of. And all
And,
it took was Finn Balor to go over.
And like I said, if
you know?
NXT actually starts touring in actual arenas and not just staying in Full Sail,
Yeah,
I feel like that number would go up.
yeah.
Just because I feel like NXT is a more
Oh, you want to see their
polished
Wednesday
looking
night
product.
show outside Full Sail?
That's what I would want.
Oh, okay,
I
got
think
it.
I think they
Nice.
should do arenas like what the size of AEW is doing.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit smaller, maybe, but I think you can get more fans if they tour
Interesting.
in different arenas every Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I love the AEW guys. I mean, I've met Cody and them and all that. I'm a big supporter, but I mean, today I
Yeah.
tuned in to Dynamite and NXT at the same time.
Yeah.
We had Garza and Leo Rush tearing down the house.
Right.
And I turn over and it's Nakazawa and Moxley.
yeah.
like, what
In a
just
squash
happened?
match.
In a
basically.
squash match,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just they're just not deep enough. I'm a big supporter too. I want them to succeed. I think that when there's that kind of competition, is better for everybody. I do believe that. I know it's like an old school thing, but at the same time, it's just like their bench is just not fucking strong. They're just way top heavy, and that's not a joke about Jericho, but they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Johnny Scoreless.
Yeah, but then even
I
like
got
guys
tits,
like
ladies and
Omega,
gentlemen, I got
who the
tits.
fucking shirt I'm wearing, they don't treat him like he's a big deal. Like if you didn't watch him in Japan, would you know that he's this guy, the best bout machine that everyone talks
He
about?
also seems to be injured a lot over the course of the last few years.
Yeah.
Right? This is the second. So I have kind of two questions. One I have specifically I want to hear Chris's thoughts on. But the first one is kind of general. Do we feel like the reason NXT ultimately is still turning in that better product or that different thing? Like right now, you talked specifically, Eddie, about like Leo Rush and Garza tearing it up. Is it because they have this support system in place that ultimately, like in a short term, AEW and All Out and everything they've done with the Elite and everything like that, like in the short term, they can have these great moments and these great things, but ultimately you're talking about like the Lakers organization and franchise that has years of dealing with superstars and knowing how to mold and build and do all of these things versus, a bunch of people who get together to play basketball kind of thing. And is that the difference? Is it that at the end of the day, this NXT, which is a developmental system, has how many different legends in the back? They've got Shawn Michaels and Triple H coaching. They've got William Regal helping out. They've got all of these things. And that ultimately, at the end of the day, even at times when it felt like the system wasn't working, that system is actually putting out what it said it was going to do the whole time.
Yeah, no, I think so. It's definitely the people in the back. I mean, you can't compare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's starting to feel a lot like WCW. I was a big WWF guy.
Yeah.
And when I would tune into WCW, it was like, oh, cool, more wrestling. But it was also like, oh, look, it's all the dudes that left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's starting to feel that way. Like, you got Jericho, you got Hager. It's like,
Right.
I don't really care about Swagger.
Meanwhile, on a random episode of Monday Night Raw, you get Seth Rollins versus fucking Walter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Walter.
Yeah.
I was like, when that music hit, I almost lost my fucking mind. I
Wait,
love that guy.
There's one correlation between like doing comedy and doing stand up. Like you have all those people that Eddie was talking about, like in the back, like Bret Hart
Yeah.
and all those legends and stuff. With comedy, all those people are still working,
Yeah.
and the only people that we get to talk to is like fucking Gallagher when he's drunk.
Yeah, right. Willie Tyler is literally upstairs right now.
Oh, that's who that was.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought he.
You can
was
recognize him
familiar.
without the puppet.
Yeah.
In that comparison, I've always said that about, like, since I've moved to LA, I've said that about LA. There's a concentration of comedians here, which helps all of us get better at an exponential rate. And NXT has some of that. It's nice to hear that experience is ultimately what plays the factor in that.
And like, because what I did like about the Full Gear is that I like that Taz
Yeah.
was on the announce table for the buy-in,
Yeah.
which was like, oh, I kind of enjoy hearing his voice.
Totally.
Yeah, he did
He
the Dark
doesn't-
show too, right?
Yeah, he did it in Philly. He did it.
Yeah, he's not a bad like commentary
Yeah.
over.
Look, they got some. Again, AEW has some interesting ideas. AEW Dark, I think, is a great idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think that all the wrestling has been pretty solid up to. I think it got a little too fucking gonzo in the Omega match with Moxley, but much like I was criticizing WWE about before this whole NXT invasion thing, it was like there's no real big storyline in AEW. The Inner Circle, okay, but it's like that seems to be the second page of a wrestling playbook. Oh, have your heel champion form a stable. You know what I
Second
mean?
page.
Yeah, it's like, all right. Obviously, that was going to happen at some point.
They got 2 new members tonight.
Oh, did they?
Who are they?
MJF,
Oh, he joined?
he joined.
I saw them start that promo.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then some other dude showed up that looks like Roman Reigns. I don't know who he is.
Yeah,
I'm
it's some
excited.
guy they
I
met.
hope it's Roman Reigns. If
Roman
Roman Reigns is on AEW and WWE, I'm never gonna miss a minute of the action.
He's definitely the big dog.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I'm excited for when Jericho and MJF break up and they have a scarf on a pole match.
Yeah,
and
seriously.
whoever gets it keeps the scarf forever. Chris, what do you think the difference? So I like your idea of saying, like, right now WWE is flexing their muscle. What can we do different? We can bring in Tyson Fury, Cain Velasquez. We can get CM Punk back.
Yeah.
What's the thing? Like, what's the thing that AEW has that they should be emphasizing? Where it's like, let's do this different now.
Yeah, I mean, they should be doing what they should be doing what they said they were going to do, which was this is going to be sports as opposed to pro wrestling. Because it's like, all right, I just watched, everything I watched with Cody and Jericho is always great. Then I see like these Young Buck matches where it's just like everyone in here should be fucking dead. And you know what I mean? After what I just saw.
Yeah.
And, then the silly shit like Michael Kawazawa and, Nakazawa, excuse me.
Nakazawa.
I mean, and then also, I mean, then they're like younger guys who are like who have the potential to have like really big younger followings. Like I liked what they did tonight with Luchasaurus, but up to this point, like Jungle Boy has been a jobber basically.
Wait, with Luchasaurus?
Yeah,
He's going to be here on November 23rd in the main room of the Comedy Store where
That's
we are
right.
putting on a live pro wrestling event. Storecade. Get your tickets. Luchasaurus, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, Brian Pillman Jr.
yeah.
and all of us.
People had
Enzo.
kept asking how the hell did we book Luchasaurus when he's injured? Well, guess what, motherfuckers? We knew beforehand that he'd going to be all right. So, November 23rd, he's going to be here.
There's a big
Because he's from CSUN, 818 till I die.
All right.
there's a big correlation between like AEW and like the alt comedy scene
Yeah.
from back.
That's
So,
actually really good.
There's a
Yeah,
big
that's
correlation.
actually
So
really
like it's different, but they cater to their fan base, which are these supermarkets, so much
good. Yeah.
that they lose sight of the overall product that they're releasing.
They
They're
only do
catering
shows
to-
east of La Brea.
They just want their product to be, oh, our supermarkets love this shit,
Yeah.
which is the fucking Young Bucks super kicking a million fucking times.
Right. But see,
A
that's,
bunch of dives and
Right.
just a bunch of spots.
but that's
you
why
know?
they worked in Japan, because it was like the rest of the card was all played so fucking seriously. You know what I mean? New Japan, you think you if you didn't know better, you'd swear it wasn't a work. You know what I mean? Like the shit. And so like Kenny and their antics and the Bullet Club and all that, them bringing the like U.S. pro wrestling sensibility into that mix worked. When the entire promotion seems to be that kind of being the elite sensibility, you lose something. You know, it's got to work in contrast to everything else.
Complete speculative question, because I don't think we know. But where do you think stuff like that's coming from? Because like tonight, you showed me this great clip, Josh, of I don't remember who was brawling in the back, but they threw him into a bathroom door, and
Power
Orange
and
Cassidy
Pride and the Bucks.
and they're just sitting, and Orange Cassidy's just sitting in the bathroom, and this is a high comedy spot. That's
Yeah.
clearly
It's
like.
fucking great spot. I
Look, but
fucking
it's
love
also
it.
that's like it to me that read like an R-Truth bit, where it's like, so how
Yeah.
is this stuff like? Because I guess I'm asking, like, do you think Tony Khan has started to try to imprint his stuff? Is this Cody and the Bucks and Jericho going away from what they originally thought because they're like, we need some spectacle? At what point do you think the disconnect happened?
Well, again, I think it's a little too early to really say what it is, but and god damn, I know I'm sound like a fucking boomer or whatever, but I feel like what Jim Cornette has been saying is kind of coming true, where it was like, yeah, all that shit's gonna be cute for a little while, but is it gonna last? You know what I mean? Like he made his declarative statement 2 weeks ago. He's like, okay, I've decided Vince McMahon is gonna beat these motherfuckers, and I know it just by the way they're presenting their product, not taking this shit as seriously as they should. You know, blah blah blah. Like Vince McMahon is he's a juggernaut. Like WWE's not gonna fall. Like it's too big to fail kind of thing at this situation.
Also,
so they can be bonkers if they want to. AEW can't.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah.
Also, there's a point where
Boomer sooner.
there's a point where AEW has this fan that it currently has.
Yeah.
It has this fan base that it currently has, but they are still trying to make money,
Yeah.
and they have to expand.
Yeah.
And to expand, you have to fucking do some of the bullshit that we kind of hate about WWE. You know,
You guys
Because
hate about
that's-
WWE. I disagree.
Hey-o.
I think
You have-
AEW is made for like marks and fucking people who watched wrestling when they were kids and still watch it today. I don't think they're reaching out to
People who
fucking
work
little
in a
kids
warehouse?
and trying to build a fan base from the ground up. They're just like, yeah, people who fucking work in the warehouse.
Yeah.
Fucking, wasn't it Mr. G is a big wrestling fan. He doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
Every time I wear like a wrestling shirt, oh, you Royal Rumble? Thanks, Mr. G. Get these fucking slabs on.
I
Is
have one
Mr.
like
G
that.
coming to Storecade? He sounds like he'd be a great manager.
One of the guys where I work, same thing, but he'll always come and goes, "Oh, is Ryback coming back?" I'm like, "No, he's not. Ryback's never. It happened today. He was like, "Is Ryback coming back?" No,
no
he's
one
not.
wants Ryback back.
Oh my
This
God.
guy sit at lunch and eat his lunch and like,
Feed me.
Feed me
Johnny,
more.
yes. If you saw him, you'd know the answer is yes.
oh my God.
What's it? Look, it's obviously missing a big angle. It's missing an NWO. It's missing and I don't mean actual Hulk Hogan, but a Hogan level star coming in. What's the thing that they can do? What's gonna set this on fire?
I think that they need to cooperate with other promotions.
Yep, they need to bring New Japan in.
Yeah, I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot by not having them a part of this sort of transitional process. You know, we never got to fully see that Elite versus Bullet Club feud. That never actually happened really in New Japan. They just kind of dropped it after all those guys left. You know, there's all this stuff happening in Impact that's exciting that they could bring into the mix. And then also, like you said, you gotta highlight the guys who are supposed to be the guys. Like, Omega in this sort of blood feud with Moxley is fine, but where's the guy who was having these 6-star matches with fucking Okada? You know what I mean? We haven't seen any of that.
And
from
also, you
Omega
get
yet.
like Omega is like friends with the women's champion.
I don't
Not
have a
like
problem
not,
with that.
but like not like a fucking ultimate. Like this is the man. This is our Roman Reigns.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I think that they were trying to build a story with Omega since he was at the peak. He was
Right.
considered like the best wrestler in the world. They wanted to build a story of maybe like, oh, he's here now, he's losing.
Yeah.
It gives him like a redemption story.
Totally.
But I don't know.
I do get the idea too. Like I've heard this from people where are they calling them all executive producers or executive vice
EVPs.
president?
Yeah, EVPs.
Whatever the group that started it didn't want to appear that they were pushing themselves to the top right away, even though they were also the people that you almost inherently needed to, because those were the stars. And look, it's a young company, and anybody who starts a company brand new, anybody who starts an idea new, somebody who ventures into an area new, I like the idea of talking about like, oh, bring in somebody who's got the experience, who's established, who understands it. But this idea of like it is gonna take more time for them to get their footing, to understand how to do it day in and day out.
Yeah.
Every week too. That's something we all knew would change when it's like now you got to do weekly television versus 1 to 4 shows a year. It is very interesting to watch that growth period and know like this is them learning how to put on, because the other thing is nobody had experience in actually running a company. They might have sat in a production booth or sat in creative meetings, but to then say, all right, now we have to start from scratch. And
But that's
I
what
don't
makes
know.
their depth an even scarier issue, because it's like, week in and week out, you need to deliver with the stars and whatnot. Like I said, Omega's hurt, Cody's hurt, Hangman Page is hurt. So like now I got to watch the fucking Dark Order. You know
and
what I mean?
is that
Fuck
from
those
their work?
guys.
Their work? Do you think is that rougher style finally catching up? Because we
It's
do.
got to.
And we
It's got
criticize.
to.
Look, we were watching that tag match with SCU and Jericho and
Sammy Guevara,
Sammy Guevara.
who I
I
love,
will
by
say,
the way.
very impressive match, very good television match, and that's when it hit me. Like, yeah, WWE's TV matches for 90% are insanely formulaic, where you really do tune out,
Yeah.
and then the other 10% you're like, oh, this was good, this was great, we love this. And I was watching this match, I was like, oh, this tag match is not formulaic. This is really strong Monday night style from the Attitude Era TV wrestling, but everybody's getting hurt. It's not pulling in the same audience. It's not setting us on fire. I would tend to, as we know I would, say it's a star power thing. I don't know what the answer is, because I thought it would have been CM Punk, but I don't know if there's another star out there you bring in where it's like, that's the thing that's going to set it on fire.
This is what I was going to say. I'm sorry to interrupt it, but to dovetail off of what you're talking about, we don't know who that next guy is.
Yeah.
Because he's not here now. Roman Reigns isn't it. Who else is out there? Like, there's nobody there. And how old is Kenny Omega? Like 600 years old?
He's not that.
I don't know how old he is in
Well, he-
Canadian.
well, that's-
There is someone.
Canadian.
There is the next guy already.
yeah, no,
His
he's
name's
out there.
Jinder Mahal.
Oh my god.
He's the fucking best. He should be our champion. He should be our president.
Does that dude even
But
still
He's coming.
wrestle?
He's coming back from injury. He's
Uh-huh.
about to take the entire
I've
company
seen
by
more
storm.
of the Singh brothers
Okay.
recently than that guy.
But what I'm saying is, like, there's someone out there better than all these people that we're seeing right now.
Sure. And
You know,
guess what?
And now that person can either go the AEW route. Maybe he already auditioned for WWE and they told him to go fuck off.
Well, they're all in NXT, dude.
Yeah.
All those next guys, they're all in NXT.
Yeah, fucking Adam Cole is probably the next big guy. I feel like.
Yeah. And which is ironic because he's a very small man.
He's like a Shawn Michaels, I would say.
Shawn Michaels esque.
Is
I would go with that.
and in this vein, is there? This is tough because I genuinely think about the idea of the star power get. Is there anybody left? Even if they were to leave WWE, because my thought of like, well, what if Kevin Owens really did leave and move over? And I'm like, I don't know if Kevin Owens is Daniel Bryan big enough.
Might
Is
be-
Daniel Bryan moving over enough to really all of a sudden be like, now it's gonna explode? Like, what's
Maybe
the
Bray Wyatt.
that would be?
That'd
Yeah,
be-
okay, you know what?
You'd take someone really creative like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
can see
You
that.
could figure it out. But
I'm sorry.
Right.
I just think it's hysterical that like fucking Vince and the WWE were fighting Daniel Bryan tooth and fucking claw
yeah.
the entire way,
Yeah.
and he still got that shit over.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is that there's got to be someone out there like that. for AEW to actually take a fucking run at WWE.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps, but they better find him relatively soon because already people are talking about empty
Supposed to be
arenas for
Cody.
Dynamite, and all that. But Cody can't do it by himself.
It's
you know?
supposed to be. I think that may be and this is not a criticism. This is the analysis of the idea that Cody's supposed to be that guy.
Yeah,
And I say there's still plenty of time and space for him to grow into it.
Yeah.
Because being the guy in a company where you're also starting the company, like you're talking about being Ric Flair, but not just Ric Flair at Jim Crockett, like Ric Flair in a brand new company, getting a title over brand new, like getting the whole thing started. And it really is kind of on his shoulders to be, not just because of the name, not just because of the pedigree, not just because of the experience, but because he kicked this whole thing off by absolutely opting out of WWE and saying, look, for me, I need to go to the indies. I need to ply my trade the old school way. I need to go and do this thing. He dyes his hair. He's wearing the suits. He's the nightmare Cody Rhodes. He's doing all these, and then he's like, we're going to put on an event. I think the ball is kind of in Cody's court, and I don't think he's ahead or behind schedule right now, right? What are we, a month into TVs?
right.
And it's just a matter of, can he, in the right way, in the right time, with the right people and the right thing, there's a lot that's going to have to be put around him, but it's got to be him right now until Goldberg decides he doesn't want to be at WWE, until somebody massive is like, I'm going to be one to jump. Because Moxley's great, but it's not the tipping point. It's got to be a Roman Reigns. It's got to be Cena decides to show up. Like, all the guys are never going to go. That's why in some weird way, I'm excited to see Punk. I'm excited to see him on WWE TV. I think it opens some amazing possibilities. I'm telling you, Stone Cold and Punk in Saudi Arabia is going to wake me up early in the morning to watch it. But part of me wished Punk had gone there just because there would have been a real title contender, and it would have been, the Lakers and the Celtics.
I knew that AEW was losing me when I was watching Cody's promo from last week on Dynamite, that amazing promo that he cut. And I remember cognitively thinking to myself, or consciously thinking to myself, this would be so much cooler if this was on Monday Night Raw.
I think there's nothing funnier than a man about to cry. And the pitch and resonance of their voice. I'm doing it for my sister, and I'm doing it for my dad. It's just the fucking funniest thing.
So what you're saying is, Johnny, is you're the funniest you can ever be when you're at work at the warehouse?
Me? Yeah, and when
You're crying all the time at the warehouse?
The first bite I had of that chicken sandwich, I was like, this isn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
So here's a weird idea. This one is, could that massive star be somebody who's not a wrestler? Would that still work? Like, I'm not saying just a manager, but like, I'm just going to throw out the idea of, like, if Kevin Hart signed on to be on TV every week and all of a sudden Kevin Hart is involved in story. He's never going to wrestle, but he's going to show up and he's going to talk smack, and he's going to be the Eric Bischoff, Paul Heyman, Bobby Heenan, Vince McMahon running around AEW. Is an outside star enough of a thing? Would Kevin Hart...
I think wrestling fans still have that thing of, like, okay, you're
Still
here for
real
a
to me, damn
second. Yeah, it's like you're here for a second, but don't stay.
And that's the issue with AEW, because AEW's fan base is all these supermarkets. So even if you brought someone like Kevin Hart in, I feel like those supermarkets would kind of reject them because you're not part of our team.
Right.
You're not part of our little club or whatnot.
So then it's Conor McGregor.
Could be.
That's the one thing. That's the one name. That's the guy. You have to find a way. Like, there's no other.
I don't think it's one guy. I think it's a lot of things. I think you bring in New Japan stars. I think you bring in Conor McGregor. You bring in a Kevin Hart. You bring in all of that to just. So everybody has
Yes,
to,
but in the same respect, like, New Japan's not getting anyone to tune in. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but the AEW marks will tune in to see Tanahashi.
They're going to do it anyway. They're going to do it anyway.
And
if we're
the problem-
talking about breaking through to another level, then it is either. And look, it's either you're saying we're bringing in Kevin Hart or some massive star who's literally we're paying the fee to get the biggest star in the world to be there, to be the personality to draw eyes, and the rest of it's going to keep up. Or you're like, we're going to get Conor McGregor, and we're going to get the one guy that WWE couldn't get, and he's going to become a wrestler. And
Johnny?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because at one point in Vince McMahon's mind, that was Lawrence Taylor from the New York
certainly
Giants.
and it did.
He did a good job.
It did not work. It did exactly what it was supposed
What
to.
about Mr. T?
Same thing with
Dude,
that Floyd Mayweather fight. The Floyd
yeah.
Mayweather Big Show fight was
Yeah.
awesome. That's why. Look, the Saudi show was terrible in what it was. It's not. We know what they are, but Cain Velasquez, interesting, stupid, weird, fast, whatever. But the Tyson Fury thing played out fairly well, and it got the coverage it needed. We'll see what they do with that, whatever. But
Isn't he in a tag team now with Braun? God,
Yeah.
I don't want to see
Look,
that.
at the end of the day, what makes the best pro wrestling is
It's
a good
Storcade, November 23rd.
Yes.
Okay?
Not bad. Not
I had
bad.
to beat Johnny to the punch.
That's a good plug. This dude is spamming the fucking
No,
Everybody's tweet.
yeah.
I can't stop. Corbin likes all the ones that I sent him, by the way. Thank you, Baron Corbin. King Corbin, I bow to you, my liege.
It's because no one tweets anything good to Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
You're the
Oh,
only
get
one.
outta here.
So that's why he
Right.
likes your tweet.
lay off
Totally.
Baron Corbin. He's the only person who's beaten Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Okay.
That's true.
Okay,
No.
one-on-one victory over Roman Reigns. It's a big one.
By the
Hey,
way,
If
these
Triple H believes in him, I believe in him.
these
There you go.
UK SmackDown Raws were horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't even talked about that.
There's not. There
It's
was.
so bad.
There was hardly anything to talk about.
Well,
It
you want
was
to talk
just
about
like,
Lana and Rusev and
Oh,
Lashley's
God.
amazing
Yeah.
storyline, the best storyline going?
The only
According
thing,
to Rusev?
the only thing I have in any way to say about that, and this is a personal one for me as well, but Rusev is so goddamn funny. His timing is so amazing. Like in the worst segment possible, I'm still laughing at the things he's doing. Like, don't forget the tank at WrestleMania. Like, come on.
I saw a
He's
tweet.
literally like getting cheated on by his wife, and he's like, I need to make a joke. I got a really good one in my pocket.
I saw a kayfabe thing where that's why Rusev lost that match at WrestleMania because he was busy having sex in the tank, and he got gassed.
I just don't. It's just one of those things where it's like it seems like they're trying to find excuses to say sex as many times as possible on national television.
We're
So-
edgy. We're edgy.
Yeah, so it could like pop because they keep talking about how like the segment tanks on TV, but it's like the most watched segments on their YouTube and stuff. So it's just like I don't know, man. It's so weird. Like I feel like a few months ago we were all like, "Oh, wrestling's about to get awesome because of this competition," and now it's just kind of like, "Oh, I guess AEW's all right. What's WWE doing?"
It definitely
all
feels
right.
like both companies put on pants that didn't fit exactly
Yeah,
right. And they're like, I'm going to need a tailor or something because it's not working. These are a little tight. These are a little loose. I could taper the leg a bit. It just, right? WWE's not sure what to do on Fox. AEW's like, we made it. What do we? Okay, I guess we could put a light over there.
Which is
of which,
weird
it-
because like the matches coming up for Survivor Series are fucking great fucking matches that
Yeah.
can be or potentially can be
Potentially.
amazing fucking matches.
right.
And we
Because
think
this
it's the
card
Fiend and Daniel
good.
Bryan, right? Is that what it's looking like? Fiend and Daniel Bryan?
Probably. But which is like, how do you have that match? He just got beat by Adam fucking Cole clean, and Seth Rollins basically tried to murder Bray Wyatt, and none of it worked. How does Bryan even have a chance?
Only thing I see would be if Daniel Bryan turns,
Yeah.
maybe. But otherwise, yeah. And I hope we don't get any more red light bullshit.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm just
The
excited
easy
for that.
bake oven.
That tag team match can potentially be one of the best matches of the year.
For sure. For
I
sure.
liked it more with Revival, but whatever. New Day's
Wait,
great.
oh, Revival's not in there.
They're not
anymore?
the tag teams
Oh, yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
What?
New Day is in
New Day beat them
Day.
on
on
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did not watch.
Adam Cole, not Adam Cole, sorry. Roddy,
Yeah.
Nakamura, AJ is going to be good.
That's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really good.
I'm into that.
If they if Nakamura wakes the fuck up, I mean, it seems like he's been sleepwalking for the past year or so.
That's the best thing that's been happening to me on WWE TV is this whole NXT takeover. It
Yeah.
seems like not just obviously the dream matchups, but it feels like the main roster guys are stepping it up to
Yeah.
match that high impact style of NXT.
For sure. For sure.
It is always fun when like you can see the hungry up and comers like, and then the roster is kind of I would imagine inspired by the idea of like, oh yeah, I remember what it was like to be 5 notches down this post and really needing to get to that spot. Let me kick it in gear. I wouldn't bank on Nakamura. Look, I love Nakamura, and I also kind of love the idea that this dude's in paid early retirement right now. Like, You know, he's like, I don't have to slam my body around. I come in, I cash the check, I do exactly what they ask. They put me in a decent spot. I don't need any more. I don't need any less. Let's go to the beach.
Yeah, I could.
I got to respect that. I can't get too angry, but
Yeah.
I do miss old Nakamura.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that because next thing you know, you're working in a warehouse.
Yeah, could happen. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Absolutely happens to the best.
And getting multiple promotions.
Getting multiple promotions while
For sure.
trying to get fired at the same time.
For sure. Well, as always, we'll see what happens, man. Eddie Torres, man,
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you coming through, dude.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, plug your podcast, man.
Rock and Roll Beer Guy is what I go by. The podcast, I had to shorten it to RRBG so I can have people from other industries because not everyone's rock and roll, not everyone's beer, and I want to talk to people.
This
And
guy is
not
very
everyone's
much
a
beer.
guy.
And not everyone's a guy. Yeah, so I put it. It's now RRBG podcast. Johnny's been on it. I'd hope to maybe get one of you guys on it as well.
Oh my God, it's so.
I've had like Chris Lieben on. I've had some people from different industries, and it's gonna keep growing.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Yeah.
Storecade, November 23rd. God damn it! Right here at the world famous Comedy Store. Where they can find you in the meantime, Johnny.
Find me on Instagram and Twitter at johnnyscortis.com and November 23rd in the main room of this establishment at Storecade.
You got more?
I do have an announcement.
Oh,
Oh,
I do have an announcement.
great.
I'm gonna be here at Storecade
Yes,
November
sir.
23rd, and I'm bringing my buddy, the youngest UFC heavyweight champion of all time,
Pardon?
the, I guess, purveyor of blood sport
Oh my goodness.
himself.
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yes.
Oh,
Tom Cruise.
No. The War Master himself, Josh Barnett.
holy shit!
He won't be wrestling because he's got a Bellator match coming up,
Holy shit.
but he's agreed to join you guys on commentary. I mean,
Amazing.
the dude used to do commentary with good old JR in New Japan.
Absolutely.
So
There it is. The man
I'm
who
excited.
trained fucking Shayna Baszler.
the man who trained the current best women's wrestler.
yep.
Not according to Eddie. Charlotte Flair is the greatest thing
Well,
that ever was.
I guess we'll see that
Charlotte
triple
Flair
threat
is the
match.
greatest wrestler
I'm a
in
Ripley
the world.
guy.
You're
Ripley's
Rhea
good.
Ripley guy.
Give me Ripley.
I'm
wanna
leaning
fuck.
towards Tessa. Right
Oh,
now.
she's
Yeah.
so good too.
Yeah.
Damn it.
See, now that's how you lean into a main event. She's legit challenging for the world championship. That feud that they built up with her and Sami Callihan, that's how you do it. And she hasn't been given as much of a
Who?
showcase as Charlotte.
Tessa
and she's doing
Charlotte?
the best.
Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa
Tessa
Blanchard,
Blanchard?
yeah.
Oh, she's good. But you know who else is good? The Priscilla Kelly, who
Yeah.
will be here at Storecade November 23rd. It's
Yeah.
a live pro wrestling event in the main room of the Comedy Store. Get your ticket.
It's terrifying when you don't blink when you do that.
Yeah,
Utterly
she's going to be matching up with the famous Dick wrestler. Yes?
That guy.
That
That
guy.
guy. The guy killing the business. Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan.
Going down.
Hey, he's a good guy. He runs bar wrestling. I go to as many of those as I can. So I'm glad to see him here at the Comedy Store, November 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys want to see something, there's a guy that works here. His name is Stephen Randolph, who looks almost
Alarmingly
identical
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Like
Joey Ryan. And it'd be funny
Mm.
to see those two.
Lil Joey.
What you got? What you got, Josh?
Josh Martin Comic on Twitter and Instagram. I'll be in Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth,
Forthworth.
and Plano, Texas in December
Yes.
with Pauly Shore, and I'll be over Indiana.
And the
Also
guy
in
who
December.
somehow has his own mic. And are you wearing a full suit?
Of course.
All right.
I'm the evil genius. This is what being an executive producer is.
Is it? All right. Well,
So this is the
EVP.
kind of stuff. This is
Not
I just
executive
figured
producer.
what?
You know, I was coming around to this, but I really don't. I'll be honest. I don't feel satisfied with the way this went today.
What do you mean?
It's one of those things where I don't. I'll be very honest. I'm trying to be more honest in my life. I'll be very honest. I feel like this apology, this idea, this mea culpa is not nearly. It's not genuine. I don't actually believe the idea. I think you said it and you did it because you felt you had to. I think Tony and I think the other guys really talked you into it. I don't think it really proves to me
Mm-hmm.
any of the things that you say. It's more just the lip service, the same way as it didn't feel like you were really listening in those other instances. It didn't feel like you were now. I don't. if I were to really come back, if I were to say, oh, I'm gonna join you guys at Storecade and things like that, because I hear this, and this is obviously the big question that everyone's been asking in the last couple of weeks. It just doesn't feel like this is the circumstance.
What else do you need exactly? You got, I said what I said at the beginning of this podcast, at the end of the last podcast. You're here. You've been taking shots this whole episode. I've let it ride. I didn't even come back at you. Like what?
Yeah, that's because you spent 3 weeks when I wasn't here taking shots. So
look,
I will give you credit that this is genuinely. I will tell everybody personally, this is not the first time you and I have tried to have this conversation in the last 3 weeks, and that's why I thought coming here and putting it into this setting might help. I love the idea that you would ask, like, what would I want? Like, I would, because I think that when we talk about it, the issue is the idea of actually addressing the idea of respect. Look, you sat here and today, if I were Chris Burns, I would sit here and I would point out how you yourself, this is his favorite phrase, you yourself pointed out that experience matters, and I don't think you respect that idea in me. You sit and you talk circles like you know wrestling better than I do, even though I work in the business. Like, only one of us is wearing a pro wrestling T-shirt right now, right?
mean, I could count to 3 real easy also.
You can count to
Just
3
saying,
real.
You're a referee.
I'm glad.
I don't
Look,
know
you can,
how much that...
If
yeah.
it makes you happy to think that that's all that takes, go right ahead. That is fine by me. If you think you know the business so well, that here's what you would need to do to get me to Storecade. Okay. You need to prove it by here. You know wrestling.
I need to prove it.
You know wrestling better than me, right? You're the Darkitect. You get it.
I feel like the
your
resume
ideas
speaks
about
for itself.
Yeah, your ideas about who draws as IC champ and whether the brand split works, all of that stuff.
I have a history of backing it up. What do
you have a
want to
history
say?
of backing it up.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Now, how many shows have you been on with that backup knowledge? So, if you think that you know it better than me, then then put your money where your mouth is.
You want money from me?
Oh, please. You couldn't afford me.
Oh,
okay.
my
I'll
God.
come to your show for free for this one.
He is Jewish.
I am Jewish. My manager will be in touch. We'll negotiate the details on this one. But I think that if I would love to compete with you, but I will tell you right now, I'm not getting anywhere near you because I don't trust you with my life in your hands. It's not that extreme.
So for the sake of all of us, because before you do the Eddie thing and talk for another 28 minutes without saying anything, how about you get to the point of what you need to say?
I will promote your show and I will come and be a part
My
of
show. It's our show.
Storecade. If I got an idea, if you think you're so good at wrestling, then you pick the team. You say the Lucha Brothers. Who are they facing?
Right now they're just kind of free.
They're free.
Yeah.
They're in the potluck.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's get a tag team to face them. You pick whichever of these tag teams you want that you think is going to win. I'll take the other one. And if you've picked better than me, if you think you know wrestling, you chose wrestling better than me, I'll shave my beard off in the middle of the Comedy Store's main room.
Nice.
But when I prove to you that I know this business 10 times better than you, okay, and all your little wisecracks over the last 3 weeks, then you're going to shave your head in the middle of the main room at the Comedy Store. And if you're willing to put your hair against my beard, you pick whatever team you want because I understand this business 10 times better than you do.
Is that a fact?
That is a fact. So if you want, then right now, who do we have on the lineup? Can I take
The Jurassic Express, no?
There's Jurassic Express. There's Matt Sydal. We just added the big Darby Allin.
That's it. That's perfect. I want Darby Allin. And is Matt Sydal doing anything?
He was in the potluck brawl too, but I mean, you want him?
I want Matt Sydal.
Okay.
So
Again, I get the
gonna
Lucha Brothers.
You can get the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Matt Sydal, and I'm going to take the Darby Allin.
Okay.
And when they win, you're shaving your head to look like the true evil genius. You're going to show everyone there at Storecade. You're going to show them that at the end of the day, you can say what you want, but I'm the evil genius and nobody else.
This is
Good old fashioned.
Look at how scared he. Look at how scared he is
This is childish.
at
is
the
what it is.
idea that he's going to have to go bald because you know I'm going to win.
Eddie, you
know wrestling. The Lucha Brothers are better. Take
you'd
them then.
think that after just
Take 'em.
episode of you being just wrong about everything,
See, that's the
that
thing.
you
is, like,
wouldn't do. What? He is. He's.
Hey, it's a hair versus
There's
hair.
no such thing as
Eddie-
right or wrong.
Eddie
no
is
right
wrong.
Or wrong.
There's
Oh,
no
only
wrong.
there is a right and
Always
wrong.
think that there is.
Well, when
And
I
then you
say
come out
things,
here
they
with
tend
So
to
then
happen.
here,
Is all I'm
this
saying.
solves it all. This solves it all because here we can clear the air, Johnny.
Yeah, no.
I
fucking
will be
do it.
right. I will
it.
be right because Matt
guys
Seidel
need a right
and
and
Darby
wrong-
Allin will win. If he's man enough, if you're not scared, then you put your hair on the line against my beard.
More tactical BS.
Or you can't shave your head because someone won't let you.
Eddie.
Chris.
All right. Cero Miero. Let's fucking do
You want to
this.
do it?
Let's do
Are we
this.
doing this?
Yeah. As much
Do we
as
have to shake our hand?
I want to
This
touch
is-
you right now.
Yeah, we need
Oh.
a handshake.
We needed the handshake.
And this is fucking absurd.
The good old fashioned lucha hair versus hair match.
You're on, sir.
You
Hey,
guys are
Johnny.
jackasses.
Johnny.
You look terrible
Johnny.
without a beard.
What?
Johnny.
Me and you need to switch because I'm on Team Dark Attack all the way.
Whatever.
Hey, Johnny.
Look
Huh.
at that.
Johnny.
Come on.
I think you should call my lawyer, and I think you should call my manager. And I think you, not anybody else, should look over the contract we signed when we started this whole Storecade business. Because, as the evil genius, if you read the contract, there's one person who's contracted and legally allowed to be the official referee for Storecade.
Okay,
There's
wait a
no,
minute.
there's
No,
only
no, no,
one
no, no,
person.
no, no.
You can go.
You
There's-
walked out, though.
Doesn't matter. There's a signed contract with my name on it. I am the only one who is certified by the state of California. I have a license
Oh my-
to do this. You literally
all, that's
read the
license.
contract. Johnny, I was on the phone with my lawyer all day yesterday. You read that contract. There is no way you can hire a different referee besides me.
So what do you? So what? In the match that determines whether I lose my fucking hair, you're the referee. Is what you're saying?
Chris, they call me the evil genius for a reason.
Oh my god.
Why do you think I let you pick first? Of course I'm going to win. Yes, I'm the referee in the match between the Lucha Brothers
Just
and the
is
winning
Exactly what I'm talking.
team. Undoubtedly, this is not a spoiler alert. This is a promise. You are going to walk out. Look, I have plenty of hair care products. I have plenty of skin
I
lotions.
don't know why you would have.
I'll tell you right now. You won't. Your head will be nice and smooth. I'll show you how not to nick it with the razor. But you better get ready because you're going to look just like me, sir.
Eddie.
Because yes, I'm the referee for any match you put on inside the Comedy Store on November 23rd at the event labeled Storecade, presented by Infinite CBD and the Store Horsemen. And if you dare try to bring another referee in, my lawyers, my manager, my entire team are going to be up your fucking ass. And that is, again,
come on.
that's not a spoiler alert, Johnny. That
This
is
is
a
the guy you
promise.
support.
Let's.
This is a guy.
Doesn't matter about support.
I-
Doesn't matter about being right or wrong. I told you I was right. I told you I would pick the winning team, and you better believe I knew what I was doing the entire time. Of course I had that up my sleeve.
It's gonna
That's
be-
why they call me the evil genius.
Can I finish the statement?
Go for
once?
it. Have fun.
It's going to be horribly embarrassing when you have to count 3 on your own fucking loss.
Let me tell you, I would never sully the stripes.
Whatever.
If for some reason
Johnny, you do the fucking
you
go home.
think your team can overcome my team. Yeah, look who's walking out now. He invites me back on his show and he walks out. Why? Because he got outsmarted and outworked by somebody who was better, more experienced, and ready to handle it. Johnny, let's go home.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. The Store Horsemen are your hookup.
Holla if you
Holler
hear
if
us.
you hear us.
The evil genius is back, motherfuckers!
You guys are fucking jackasses.